welcome to Quackalope. Today we are bringing you a Kickstarter preview for Apex Legends, the board game by Glass Cannon Unplugged.
Absolutely.
And we've been getting this to the table a lot the past few days and are really excited to talk to you about it. Just a disclaimer here, we do a lot of work with Glass Cannon, and this is also a prototype that you see in front of you. So this is a sponsored preview, and all the components are subject to change, and the rulebook is subject to change. That all being said, you guys should go over and follow their Kickstarter page.
Definitely.
Check it out. There's a lot that we're going to be going into in this video, but click the follow button, click the back button, back responsibly, and come along with us for the journey.
If you back right now, I believe you do get a free legend with the back for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, there's a free expansion if you're backing on Kickstarter.
So if this is something that's exciting for you, definitely hit that back button.
Now that we got all the formality out of the way, let's talk about what is Apex Legends.
Yeah.
You have a lot of experience with the Vigi game.
I do have experience with the Vigi game. Let's be clear about my experience. I am experienced in losing. I'm very good at not winning Apex Legends, but I have a great time playing.
Game, he's also very good at losing.
You know, that's just true. It is. It's very true. It's very true. The key with this particular game, it is one of the most popular games in the world. It has the highest active player count of any game out there as far as video games go. So it has a big, huge audience, and it's exciting to see what they're able to do to bring it into the tabletop world. It is a battle royale skirmish style game where you're acting as legends that have special powers and abilities, and you are trying to kill one of each of the other players on the board to win the match.
Yes. It is exciting. There's powers and abilities. It's like a sci-fi post-apocalyptic world where every legend feels entirely different when they play. There's some that are going to be able to fly and have drones, and some have fast-moving abilities and ways to see opponents that are hidden.
Yeah. Dimensional rifts, split down shields, huge bombs, all kinds of stuff can happen.
There's going to be a lot of game modes that are coming out. So the Kickstarter, there's going to be right now it's usually four players, which you can play two players two-handed. There's going to be a 5 to 6 player expansion. There is going to be a solo mode as well. There's 13 different legends that you can play as, and they're all public knowledge now.
Yep.
What else is exciting about that's going to be on the Kickstarter page?
I mean, I think just getting a chance to follow along and see all the different things that are going to become available there. I think you've mentioned all of the special things that are out there, but who knows? Glass Cannon's really good at throwing some extra special stuff in at the end, so we'll see.
So now we kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about the things that make this game different from other games that you might be backing and why you should be backing this game.
Absolutely.
So the first thing we want to talk about is the diceless game mechanics. There are no dice.
That's right.
In a skirmish game, there are no dice.
No dice, yep. Yes. No, that doesn't mean there's not luck involved, because there definitely is. But when you're doing the shooting mechanic, instead of rolling a die to see if you made the shot or not, you have special cards. And what makes these cards really unique is that they have different things on them that are useful in multiple situations. If, for example, you have the ability to have headshots. You have a situation where if you are lower than the player you're firing against, it is a miss, regardless of the number on top. And it's an automatic hit in the same way if you're shooting down at somebody else. And then you have these half shots here where if you have 2 of them in a row that you've shot during that entire time, you have the opportunity to have 1 extra hit, as well as it's an automatic miss if you're behind cover.
So these are going to be the deck that you are going to be constantly shuffling in between every single shot you take. So the variability, it's going to be random in the sense that it's a deck that all the options are going to be there. You can't plan what has come out and then plan around that.
Exactly.
But yeah, the variability is insane. The numbers are also, do you want to explain how the recoil ability, because this is something that was really cool when you explained it to me. The fact that in real life, you have recoil from a gun. And
exactly. So you'll have muzzle lift with recoil as you're playing. In this particular circumstance, not every gun does, but some of them do. So as you're putting things down here, you start at the 0 and you move your way this way. So each one, this is first shot, second shot, third shot, fourth shot. However, there are some guns that will actually have a recoil of 1, so you'll actually go here. So each shot is a little bit harder to continue to aim as you're going down using the barrel. And there's also the ability to add stability to it. So if you have these little chits here that attachments, thank you, I couldn't think of the word. You could start higher up and give yourself a +5 to your hit, which is really awesome. The other interesting thing that we didn't talk about are ordnances. So there are ordnances that you can call down, but there's also grenades and frag grenades that you can throw, and these are part of these little arrows. So as you're picking a target, you're throwing it and you're hopeful that it's going to land in the right place. You might get a bad bounce.
Each grenade is going to have a different amount of cards that you have to draw out for that grenade. When you draw out those cards, you look at the arrows, and based on where you threw that grenade, so this one has a grid of a 3x3, you're going to be drawing out 2 cards, and if you would place it here and drew this arrow, it would all of a sudden move into that quadrant. It shifts, and then you might not be hitting the target you wanted to be hitting. You might hit yourself, ally, or it just might miss, which was pretty
much what happens to me all the time. I miss
Wes
every single time.
With the aimings of the
terrible.
grenade.
Yeah.
So this weapon track is really, really cool. Not only do you have to pay attention to the numbers on top, because each weapon has a different hit point value. That the lower it is, the more you're going to be hitting, and the higher it is, the harder it is to hit, but usually those deal a lot more damage and are a lot more powerful.
For
and so
sure.
you're paying attention to both the values on top and the iconography on the bottom. The second point that makes this game different.
The modular buildings. These are so cool, but the interesting thing about them is that they're actually foldable buildings, so you can take them apart just by pushing them like this. So that way they fold flat into the box, but you still have a really awesome building that you can set up, and it doesn't take up that much space inside your actual box, so that means that the building itself doesn't take up too much room, and you can transport this from one location to another, which is fantastic.
On a personal level, I have struggled with playing video games because I don't understand the concept of looking at a 2D screen and being in a 3D world and moving around. And so this game, with the fact that there's 3D components, takes that world and puts it on the table in front of me. I can get up, I can move around, I can look around these buildings where in the video game I would have to walk around there. They add such a big tactile element. And yes, like you said, they fold up, they fit in your box, it's transportable. People are talking about this game in comparison to kind of a skirmish game like Warhammer. Warhammer, you usually have a lot of terrain pieces, it's a lot to set up. This will be travelable.
Yeah, travelable, and it should be a lot faster for setup.
Travelable, yes.
And you know, this game does, in a sense, compete with those miniature war games because it is basically the same kind of concept, but you're not using rulers anymore. There's still line of sight things that you're dealing with, but I think it scratches the itch for war gamers. At the same time, it's still very much a board gamer concept, which I'm very excited about.
Let's talk about the ease of play right now.
Yeah, that's a great transition, Shira, isn't it? It's amazing.
Glass Cannon has been known for their Frostpunk.
Yes.
Frostpunk has a big dive into. It is a very heavy, intense game. Apex Legends.
Not the same.
Not the same at all. Once you get through the rulebook, the main things that are the hardest are the line of sight and visibility rules, which is the same in really any skirmish game.
Yeah, if you've done it, you've done it.
Iconography, as soon as you get it down pat, is very clear. You're able to equip new weapons. You understand what the new ones that come out, all of the epic gear and the deluxe, like all of the fantastic gear that you get to put on your weapons. It's easy to understand. The rulebook was concise when I read it through. It was easy to follow. The descriptions were clear. The ease of play with this one is definitely significantly
better than some of the other games. Not saying that Frostpunk is bad. It's one of my personal favorite games. I love playing it.
It's heavy.
It's
and so
a very,
in the
very
scheme
heavy
of the
game. It's
heaviness
not the
of the
same.
game, this is a midweight skirmish battling game with a fantastic IP and theme attached to it. That if you like that sci-fi genre, then this might be up your alley.
Absolutely. Now, one of the other things that's really cool is that Glass Cannon Unplugged has some amazing miniatures. These are 40 millimeter miniatures, so it makes them a little bit bigger. They're a little bit more chunky, and they have excellent artistic edge to them. They really are very detailed. Obviously, the ones that you're getting may not be painted. Who knows? Maybe they'll have a painted set available. These were professionally painted by an amazing artist in Poland. So we're super excited to be able to play with them. But as you can see, they are highly paintable, and they are definitely taller.
Yeah, they have exquisite detail. You can really personalize this set. And even the other, like the spawn points and the gear chest, like all of these little things, you're going to be able to paint and deluxify your set.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that they know that there's a lot of fans coming to this game, and they know that there's going to be a lot of people who are in it for the miniatures and for the IP, and people who are in it for the gameplay and mechanics, and having things that you can paint and really personalize. Having the painted miniatures is just going to make this playing a whole lot more fun.
Yeah, if you're into painting, these are going to be great for you.
Let's speak about the replayability, the variability in games, because that's something that's very important to me when I'm playing my board games. I don't want the same play experience every single time.
Yeah. So one of the things about Apex Legends, the video game, is that there are different seasons, there's different maps that will be available. One of the things that Glass Cannon Unplugged has talked about throughout this whole situation is that they want to be able to continue to support this game. So they want to be able to put up more maps, they want to be able to follow up with the seasons. But even with this, you'll have the ability to create different scenes that are completely unique by moving the boxes around, setting up the spawn points in different areas. Also, as the game starts closing in on you with these big shields, that will change the way that the game plays in addition to it, because it will be variable as to how it closes in, because you use these big cards to do that. So depending upon how they're showing up, this one would move this in by 3, and these would stay the same. Whereas this particular card here would move this one in by 1, this one up by 3, and that one in by 2. So
there's also going to be different scenarios in the final copy. There's going to be capture the flag mechanics. There's going to be the battle royale, like killing your opponents. There's going to be objective scenarios. So there's going to be a bunch of different scenarios. I don't believe that this one takes after a specific season in the video game. They've pulled from different seasons, different characters, because they really want to give like an all-inclusive experience into Apex Legends. That there's going to be characters that you'll see from different points, different little Easter eggs throughout the game.
Absolutely.
The last point I want to talk about is the artwork. The artwork is really cool. Why don't you grab one of your character decks? I was playing as Bloodhound, and so this is some of their artwork. They have these two.
For Wraith.
They have
Gibby.
these abilities, and then Bangalore. So you have the abilities. Most of the artwork is centered on these cards. You also have kind of the artwork of the board, the aesthetic. It really does look like a post-apocalyptic world. All of these buildings have different designs on the sides, and so it really gives like that hazard, like blinking, flashing lights, dim low light motif.
There's elements from the game here as well. Those of you who've played it, you'll see a lot of the different things in here that make you go, oh yeah, that's from that. And that there's little Easter egg elements that you'll remember throughout everything. But keeping true to the actual legends themselves and the way that they play, I think Glass Cannon has done a fabulous job keeping those specifics intact for the special abilities that they've got there. Those Into the Voids stuff here, the tactical abilities and ultimate abilities that they have, which is really, really cool.
Speaking on the legends, each legend feels entirely unique when you play them, both because you're going to customize them in the beginning with different gear every single time, so that gear combination is never going to be the same, and then they all have different powers and abilities. Their decks are completely different, as you're going to be able to draw up cards and use their powers, use their special powers. They feel like we dived into our own team specifically, and I got the feeling of playing Bloodhound and Bangalore and knowing what they can do and how they shoot best throughout the map and what weapons shoot their shooting style and gear the best. It's really cool to customize them that much and really feel like even playing the same team in back-to-back games feels entirely different. Some games you might use grenades more. Some games you're really gonna like deluxify your gun and be a long-range shooter, a sniper. Some of them you're going to be up close and personal, and sometimes you have to be. Yeah,
absolutely. It completely depends on the style of game that you're aiming to play. Gibby feels very defensive because he's got lots of defensive abilities, and teamwork is very important. And of course, Wraith eventually will be able to kidnap people. It's going to be amazing. Man, I can't wait. It's going to be so good.
So if anything we said here excites you even a little bit, go check out the Kickstarter page, follow along, see what's going to be coming out, and remember to stay tuned. There's going to be more videos. We have a gameplay coming out. There's going to be some first impressions. There's a first look. So stay tuned for more Apex Legends content. And that, whatever the case,
whatever you do,
remember to do the important thing.
Kill your friends when you play Apex Legends.
Kill your friends when you play Apex Legends.
Yeah, definitely.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.